Store Nation, welcome. It's Tuesday morning. That can mean one thing. We're going through Clough Road figures. Now, yesterday, let me just paint a picture for you because I painted, I suppose, a dire picture on the podcast yesterday in terms of self-storage and how we're doing at the minute. And I think it's because in this industry, we're used to being doing so well all the time. And so as soon as a bump in the road happens, you're like, whoa, holy shit, there's a bump. These roads are supposed to be smooth. There's supposed to be no bumps. What the hell is going on? And I do think that you can actually put a positive spin on it, or you can put a negative spin on it. Let me put some positives on it. Well, first of all, let me paint a picture in terms of what happened yesterday. So I got a text from James saying, listen, just so you know, when the evening figures come through, don't be alarmed. There is 460 square foot moved out. 180 of that wasn't expected. I'm like, fucking, and no move-ins. Fucking. And then he said, we have had 4 reservations across the 3 sites. We had 1 at Beverley, 2 at Willoughby, and 1 at Clough Road. I was like, oh, that's all right. And then so I delved a little bit deeper into the figures yesterday. And so we can look at that 2 ways. We can think, fucking hell, we're losing more square foot. We're 1,700 square foot down for the month so far. We're down in December, blah, 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 blah. And we can really, really get down about it. And I think the worrying thing for me is that I'm worried that this continues into the summer because we understand that during the winter, we do have more move-outs than we do in the summer because houses complete, whatever the reason is, the data suggests people move out more in the winter. And so when we look at our figures, we expect it. We expect it during the winter. However, in the summer, we expect to get the occupancy up again. And this year, because of the economic climate, because of the war, because of the rising costs in everything for standard living, then we're thinking, okay, is it still going to happen? Are we going to have the influx of customers? And that is why that when I speak to people, that is what people are concerned about. That's what I'm concerned about. Is it going to change? And the honest answer is we don't know. However, we can point at certain metrics at the minute that are pointing in the right direction. So let's have a look at yesterday. 4 reservations. I don't normally talk about Beverley, so we'll exclude Beverley's reservation there. So 3 reservations across the 2 sites. 3 reservations a day is 21 reservations a week. 3 times 7. If we went on in that form all the way throughout the week, 21 reservations. Outstanding week, brilliant week. We've been more than happy with 21 reservations. That 21 reservations in January is unheard of. So that is a massive positive, a massive positive. Then we look back, and then I look at the raw data, the very, very top of the funnel. We had 350 website visitors last week. We've never had 350 website visitors. So we're getting people visiting the website, and that's got to be a good thing. So if we look at the positives, in December, there was nobody moving in. There was no reservations, and there was people moving out. In January, there's a shit ton of people moving out, but there's people moving in. There's 1,000 square foot last week, 1,080 square foot moved in at Willoughby, which is phenomenal. In January, 1,080 square foot moved in is unheard of. Not unheard of, but it's 4 figures. 4 figures. I'll accept 4 figures in the summer. So 4 figures in January is good. Reservations, 16 reservations last week across the 2 sites. In January, that is some good figures. The website is converting highest website traffic ever, and we're converting at 4.5%. That's outstanding. And so there is things to be positive about. So I don't want to just paint the picture. I actually listened to the podcast yesterday. I hate listening to myself, but I was driving and I was listening to another podcast, and then it finished and my podcast came and I was like, oh, fucking hell. You know, when I hear the music, I go, oh no, it's me. Quick, stop the car, pull over. And I was like, oh, you're quite entertaining sometimes, but I was just embarrassed. I was like, oh no, this is horrible. And I thought, do you know what? I do, because I do need to level the playing field here. And I do think it's because we're used to a straight road in self-storage. And all of a sudden there's a couple of bumps and we're thinking, holy shit, hold on for dear life. And when in reality, it's just a bump, but we're holding onto the steering wheel. The passengers holding on to me, grabbing me because we're absolutely panicking because we're not used to this. And really in reality, it's just going, dum. That's it. But inside the car, it's almost like we're in the middle of a tidal wave. And it's crazy, really, when we actually get out of the car and look from an aerial point of view. It's a very, very small bump. But we're not used to this in self-storage. I'm not used to losing so many square foot. I'm not used to worrying about the future. I'm not worried about normally it's not normally unknown. We normally know that during the summer, we're going to fill up. In the winter, we're going to lose a bit of square foot. But this month, because of the interest rates, because of the housing market, are we going to fill up? And we've got to focus, by the way, on things we can control. We can't control move outs, or to a certain extent, we can't control move outs. So we've got to focus on the things we can focus on and can control. It's the move-ins. How do we do that? We start looking at where the move-in come from. And where do the move-ins come from? Funeral directors, people losing their life, people, loved ones who have died and passed and need stored of goods. And so what are we doing about it? We know that's the data. It came out at 44% of move-ins from a bereavement. So what are we doing about it? What are you doing about it? Are you reaching out to funeral directors? Are you reaching out to care homes? Are you giving flyers? What we're doing now is we're going to reach out to all funeral directors, obviously, because there's been my grandma died. I know what it's like now. I've never really had much death in my family before. And now I know that it's a ball ache to get all my grandma's stuff out. And if a funeral director says, I tell you what, see Stormore down there, they're actually doing 4 weeks half price. You can have a free van, 4 weeks free, because we're going to give 4 weeks free for any bereavement, and just say, look, we're trying to help you out. And if I stay, brilliant, which we probably will do, but we're not doing it. Well, we're doing it for that a little bit, but we're also doing a win-win because I think it's the right thing to do. And so we're reaching out to funeral directors and saying, look, I understand the situation, understand the circumstances. We've been through it, something similar recently, and we want to help. We want to offer 4 weeks completely free self-storage for people who have lost someone, and reach out and make relationships. That's what business is all about. That's the fundamentals of business. But the problem with you and the problem with me and the problem with this industry is we haven't had to go back to principles, business principles, because self-storage just works. And so we, as an industry, just expect people to come to us, when in every other industry I've worked at, it hasn't been like that. And so I've been guilty of it. I know you're guilty of it as well. Resting on our laurels here. We just expect storage to work. But it's kind of good. It's kind of good that now, we need to get more reservations. We need to, as the housing market getting them, it's good because it puts us in that fighting zone. I want to start fighting the grit, the determination. Let's get out there. Let's get amongst it. Let's improve, because we'll see who the weak competitors are. We'll see who the weak operators are, because they will not do this. They're used to swimming in a beautiful Barbados where the sea is absolutely fantastically hot all year round, and you don't need to wear a wetsuit. Guess what? It's time to put your wetsuits on, boys and girls. We're going in the North Sea and we're going to swim. That's the difference. That's what it's like at the minute. Most people are used to comfort in self-storage. Well, sometimes we might have to get amongst it. We might have to go back to first principles of business and build relationships and actually go out there and drag in people from the streets. But because we're not used to it, most people won't do it. Because we're not used to it, most people will just sit there and expect customers to come to them. And when they don't, they'll complain, they'll bitch, they'll moan. And it's the economy. It's us. It is the economy, but this is welcome to the real world. This is what it's like for every business out there. Most businesses that I've ever run, I've had to fight, scrap, and do whatever I can to get people in the door. With self-storage, it just worked. It was great. It was fantastic. But this might be different this next year. I'm not saying it's going to be different because we don't know. But if it is, be ready to roll up our sleeves. Be ready to do the stuff we haven't done before. Be ready to build relationships with the community, because that is what will stand you in good stead and make you different to every other self-storage company out there. And I promise you, you will get the results for it. Rah, 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 rah. Your team. I really believe it. I really believe it. If anybody's watching the video, by the way, I'm wearing my Man City hoodie because my office is bloody freezing this morning. It's God knows what temperature out there. So yes, that's why I'm wearing my hoodie. Right, onto the Clough Road results for last week. Ugh. So Willoughby did really well, 12 reservations. Clough Road, on the other hand, I mean, if Clough Road had got 12 reservations, it'd be 24 reservations. But no, they got 4. So number of quotes, 7. Number of reservations, 4. Number of square foot reserved, 200 square foot. Piddly poor. So that's a 57% conversion, quotes, reservations to quotes. Number of move-ins, 5 to 325 square foot. So it's a 71% conversion from quotes to move-ins. And we also had an extra 160 square foot moved in because somebody basically moved out of a 125 and moved into a 160. The 125 is on the move-outs and the 160 is on the move-ins. So we was actually net minus 30. So not Not too disappointing last week, but it's still a negative. Hopefully we can change that around. But this week we've had one reservation yesterday, that's Monday. And so hopefully, as I've just done this, we've got an incomplete reservation that's just come through for 75 square foot. So hopefully when the team get in, we can get that and crack on. All right. So amount of square foot moved out, like I said, was 520, 500. I don't know if I mentioned this. 515 square foot moved out. Number of rooms moved out was 5. So we're 30 square foot down. Let's have a look at some more data. So we had, as I said, 12 reservations last week. Let's get my phone out. And we had 1, 2, 3, 4. We had 4 reservations online. So that's 30%, I believe. Public maths, I'm scared. 4 divided by 12 is 33%. 33% conversions. But 1, of course it is. What a donut. That is really it's Pardine. That is ridiculous. The reason why I'm going to make an excuse for myself here is because when I was counting it, there's 4 lines in green, which means booked online. But in the notice section of one of the lines in greens, it says use Willoughby before. And so I'm not having that. So I was only counting 3 when I was doing that pre-recording. So if it's 3 reservations, then it's 30%. If it's 4 reservations, then it's 33%. So either way, it's around 30 to 33% actually booked online without speaking to us previously. 6 of our customers came from Google. 1 came from used before. Let's have a look at the Stora platform. Here we diddly do. So the gross revenue is £7,972.75, which is 8% down on what it was 30 days ago. It was at 8,704. The monthly recurring revenue is £21,442.08. That's 2.68% down. It was 22,033 before 30 days ago. The occupancy, guess what? It's down. It's £56.92. It's down 1.5%. It was 58.37 30 days ago. So do you know what? I'm actually not too disheartened by that because we expected, don't we? We know that we're going to lose square foot in this time of year, but we haven't. It hasn't been a disaster at Clough Road. We haven't had that many move-outs, but we haven't had that many move-ins. That's what it feels like anyway. Without actually looking at the churn rate and looking at the data, it feels like that to me. Square foot is £19.11, so that's down 0.93%. 30 days ago, it was at £19.29. All right, my friends, that is it. I'll be doing another podcast tomorrow. I'll be doing monthly figures, etc. tomorrow. I'm viewing a new site today, a container site. Really, really excited. I might go for it. Depends on the price. All right, I'll keep you informed. I know I keep saying, oh, I'm going to Sunderland. Oh, I'm going to wherever. And then it never happens. I'm well aware of it. I keep saying, I'm going to do it, going to do it. And then for whatever reason, it just don't happen. And so I don't want to say, yeah, I'm definitely going for it. And then it doesn't happen. And then I'm sat with 3 sites when I said, I have 10 sites right now. And I don't. Right. All right, guys, I'm going to go back inside. I'm going to have another coffee. And I'm going to play with the kiddies. All right. Love you. Appreciate you. See you soon.